So he continues. Foot is on the floor, so I'm not worried. Foot not on the floor, I'm a bit worried. I'll turn off Z and double click on Y and press F or your period key, which is full stop, to get Shift D. Move on X axis, right click and snap to current frame. So I'm going to go over here. I can see that obviously it's not touching the ground, so I'll push it. I'll just move the frame down to get something like so. GY, please move down. If something happened to you, snap to current frame. And GY, okay, something like this. So continue moving. She's still making contact with the floor, but not so much here, so I'll shift duplicate that, snap to current frame, snap to duplicate to the current frame, and GY, I'll move it further down because apparently the floor is a lot sloppier over here, sloping down. So next foot, you see this long process would have been avoided if we had used the other technique, which is follow path, which is why it's my favorite. But don't worry, at least this will get you into the game of cleaning up your animation. Okay, the foot is sliding, but I'm not worried about that. It's not so obvious because my camera shot won't be catching that. Okay, so I'm not too disturbed about that. Here I'm quite disturbed about this one. Shift D, right click, snap to current frame, and I'll just press GY to move it down. Maintains this level, and I'll continue. I'm using this constantly because you can see the way I adjust it. It's very easy for me to make changes with the constant. Then when I'm done, I can now switch the mode. Okay, so here he goes, he slides. Okay, so for this slide this is where we would now get a bit into using the for this slide. You see we'll have to move the character up because he's entering into the ground like this. So what I'll simply do is I'll move the character up until he's above the ground like this. Yeah, so let me scroll back to see how that affects it over time. So he's here, and I need a keyframe here to shift the X, snap to current frame, and we have this going on here. I think at this point we can bring it back to 0. I think I'm going to terminate this as 0. G, Y, I'll take it up to 0. I want it to follow, yeah. So at 0 it's just above the floor, but we can see that this hand is not touching the ground. So we're going to fix that hand shortly. So there was a sliding that was occurring with this the left foot, this one. So it stops. I was able to fix it and plant that more on the ground. So I'm not bothered about this part of the animation because this is like the end of the animation, okay? But what I want to show you now is how to use motion path 2 for tracking a particular bone over a period of time. Wait, let me change this interpolation one to Bezier first. Let me see what that is like. I'll just study the movement of the foot over a period of time and see if there are any errors. Okay. So he's making contact, so his leg is going to dig in more over here, so I'm not worried about that. So he's just coming from a very high jump and the foot are receiving the whole of the body's weight at once. Okay, so we're good with this. Let me just focus on the hand over here because this hand was what had that issue. So I'll press tab and leave that animation. And what I want to go and edit now is the slide animation. Okay, so if you look at the slide animation, run fast, this is the one, right foot slide. So I'll go into edit mode for it. Now with this hand selected, with the hand controller, it's like a controller for the right hand, I'm going to come over here and change this to my properties. This property is usually located at the bottom side with default, but I'm manipulating my layout to give me what I want here. So I will go over to data, green running stickman, and come here to motion path. Yeah, now you see the option, it says path type in range, calculate range. You can leave the default setting over here, you don't have to worry about that. What you need is you want it to calculate the motion path. Is asking you whether the heads or the tail. Obviously we're going with the head unless for specific reasons you want the tail. So I'm going to click on calculate and you see something beautiful. See what happens. Blender calculates from the frame 1, it calculates the position, all the interpolation that's supposed to happen for the hand to be where it's supposed to be. So it's basically storing various animations here, various positions of the hand. Now if I come to the hand right now and I scrub forward, let me show you what I'm talking about. So currently you can see that this is the frame, this is the position, it is now 49, this will be 50. If I switch to 50, you see it comes over here. So it's showing you the movement, like the part of the hand over a period of time. Yeah, so and the beautiful thing is that if you study this closely, it's exactly similar to what you have in the graph over here. It's basically just bringing your graph to you. That's simply what it's doing. So now the action strip, if you look at the action strip over here, sorry, let me see if I can close this up. The action strip starts at almost 140. So you can see this where how the keyframes are in your timeline before 140, so somewhere around here, and you can see that it's highlighted. It's going to highlight the frames where, see, 138, 138. You see it isn't writing the number so that you know what is happening there. So what we're simply going to do is that we're going to track this hand over time as making contact with the floor. So it makes contact with the floor somewhere around here. So at this point over here, the hand is meant to be a lot slower. So all we'll be doing now is that we're not working with the graph anymore. We'll be doing the adjustment directly from our board. So this is basically bringing your graph over here and guiding you towards making your adjustments. So now because we're in edit mode, we're not directly editing this action strip. So I'll just pull this guy down till his hand touches the ground, like so. Yeah, and I'll go further in the frame. 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, and I'll just do the same thing. You can see that the curve is adjusting as I'm doing this. I'll do the same thing over here and go for each of this frame. I'll just give an adjustment to it, and just to show you that it's exactly the same as the curve, we are adjusting Y, yes, Y location. So I'm going to isolate, sorry, Z location. I'm going to isolate Z and press Shift H to isolate that curve and press F to put it in frame. Can you see this pattern over here? You can see it's exactly the same pattern we have over here. Yeah, it's exactly the same pattern we have, but it's like the reverse. It's upside down. Yeah, so if we were to rotate our view something like this, you see that the pattern now makes sense to you, that it's just this curve that's over here now. So what we want to do, we can go over here to the graph and delete these two over here, X, delete keyframes. Now you now see that it's now following a particular, the shape has changed over here, but however it has not changed here. So all you need to do for this is to come over here and say update path. Once you click on update path, it's going to update it for the change that's there. Okay, so now you see that we have cleaned up those extra keyframes that was making the hand snap back up after this the edits were done. So you see it's resting, and I think this guy could be a little bit higher, GY, or we can just do it over here, yeah, to bring it closer to the ground. And he's going, I feel like his hand should just be about leaving the ground somewhere around here, so I can pull this guy down too. Now I'm just making sure the curve is smooth. Yeah, I'm just making sure the curve is smooth. So I'm sliding it down, so it comes down, slides, starts to go up. Like, I feel like he might still need his hand to support over here, so I'll pull this guy down, pull this one down. I'll just adjust the frames over here to match what, so not into the ground, but his body's going up. As his body is going up, I think we'll use his hand. His hand might even need to rotate a bit. Let me pull this guy down. So I want to straighten this curve like so. So I'll pull this guy down, pull this guy like so, adjust it down like this, and see if it makes sense. Okay, so the body is carrying him up, and like that will fix that whole motion. Okay, alright, so now I'm looking at other body parts that I need to fix. The foot didn't enter the ground so much. Nope. I'm not worried about this foot because I feel like if it's sliding, or maybe this foot should be touching the ground over here. I don't know. I'm not too worried about that. Because this is the part that's carrying the weight. The leg is just stretched out to help him slide, and voila, he's gone. So now I'm going to use it one more time just to show you how you can, once you've done that for one bone, how you can do it for other bones. Do the same tracking. So I'm going to also monitor the hand here first. I'll do this right one since we have already generated the motion parts for it. So I'll go jumps, his hand goes for, okay, so I'll press F to bring it to frame, and it's in the wrong track. You have to select the track that you want to edit. This is the one I'm editing right now. So tab with over here. Now I can make the adjustment. When I move, so you see now stores the actual location. So I'm going around and trying to fix those things I tried to correct before, and I'll pull this down because it's supposed to be following like a straight or a curved trajectory downwards. So I'll just adjust this, adjust that, so it's like stretching, land, and get back here, and inward, like so, going down, and I think a frame has to go over there. So is it the Z, so X. Beautiful thing is that it shows you what's the color here to let you know whether the Z axis or Y axis you have to be worried about thereabouts. So now I can see that there are two keyframes over here, so it means I have to separate one out like this. I have to separate one. I'll go to the previous one and maybe space it backwards like this. Go to this one, the next one, space it, just to give enough room for. So this, I'll pull it down and take it forward. Then makes contact here, somewhere like this. For me, it's okay. Only problem is I need to add a rotation on the like this and bring the fingers out. So I hold shift to adjust it slowly. So bring the finger out a bit, like it's on it rather than going through it. And so at this point, what I'm just doing, I'll be rotating the hand and just ensuring that they're not getting into the way. So like same thing, rotate out, same thing, rotate, save, so rotate this, rotate it out, rotate this a bit. I'm not going to straighten it too much because I want it to be like it's pushing against the rock. So it's click, body pulls his hand, it pushes a bit. So let's say I fixed that, but I have issues with this guy because somewhere around here he's supposed to make contact this other hand. So I'll select that, I'll go over here, and what I'll do is I'll first of all click on this X button to cancel that one and recalculate with this hand selected. So just the same way we did the other one, I'm going to do the same adjustment here by pulling the hands down. Like so, this guy's hand is going to be touching the rock somewhere around here. So you have to adjust it to something like this. Then move it forward like this. So which means that the previous ones I have to adjust them up also to match the new parts. I'm trying to draw up something from here to here. So I'll come to this guy here and move him up like so. Go to the next one, move it up like so. I'm not overthinking it, I'm just making sure there's a straight line over there. So up like so, come back adjust this. So I'm just trying to draw up a straight line with my eyes. Call it a freestyle. Yeah, so something like this. So it comes up. And for some reason I feel like I should have started with the hips. That would have been a better place to start this adjustment from. So it hits, and nope, wrong. I'm going to push you forward, down. So I'll take you a bit forward. I'll do the same thing. This guy will have to push him like this. Follow the trajectory of his hand. Like push this guy. Let me switch this back to global. And pull him forward like this. Next one. Pull forward. Oh, sorry. Selecting the wrong thing. Pull forward like this. So makes contact. Okay, this one should be a bit backwards like this. Backwards like this. Backwards like this. So for this, like I said, unless I was adjusting this guy downwards like so, to relax the hand so that I could pull this guy down to touch, make contact with this, that might be a bit difficult. So you can see how I'm just adjusting it. I'm not overthinking it. I'm just, oh, this pose is not working, I go to the next one and I try to fix it from the next one. So okay, so for this one, maybe I pull the, adjust it so that it's straight, motion is smooth, makes contact. I think I can pull this guy backwards a bit too, like he's pushing himself. He's pushing himself, so his hand is slowly lagging behind him, like so. Like, okay, yeah, I think I have a better call. So it's almost like a bounce. Goes backwards. I feel like this hand should have swung backwards more here. It's just my own taste. Yeah. So I'll just pull them back a bit. Pull back. So get down. Pull back. Pull back and up. Yeah, something like that. Swings. I can move this guy backwards like this. Move this one backwards a bit more. So it's like he goes, hand laps, then throws it forward to be able to make contact with the rock. I feel like he should have made this contact earlier. So we'll go to the next one. I'm going to cancel for this. I want to track the hips controller, so I'll do the same thing with this. Calculate, and let me see how I can fix this. So yeah, this is basically clean up. Most times even motion capture, this is how we'll clean up our shit. So I'll put this guy here. I want him to come down faster than he did here. So I'll put this one, adjust the curve, go further. It's coming down, obviously, gravity, weight. So something like this. Yeah, so you see, it already looks better. So makes contact. That he should have made contact somewhere around here. Sorry, I'm going to calculate for this guy. You're going to be seeing 2 calls, but don't worry, I feel like you should be able to follow up with what's happening. So I feel like at this point he should have already made contact. Yeah, so sorry, I'm pushing these guys. I'm trying to refine the motion, so his hands reaching, pulling it, so his hand is reaching, makes contact, maintains contact, follow the curve. Yep. So yep, pushing. And I can basically live with that. So you can go ahead, you can do as much correction as you need. I'll check the other hand to see, because for most of these my camera is not going to catch them, honestly, so I'm not really too disturbed. And it goes, voila. So you can see how you can use this motion part to track your animation and do a lot of cleaning up. Okay, so yeah, that's that, and that's the end of this one. Have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section, and what I'll do, I'll come back later on with teaching you how to make use of your camera for taking a cinematic shot.